to our normal Monday night here on the channel. So I am Andy. I'm sure you know me by now if you're here. So I hope you're having a very good Monday evening. I hope you've had a great weekend, and I hope you've got a busy and enjoyable week coming up. Maybe TT related. Let's see what we're going to talk about tonight. I've got a lot of things to cover tonight, so just want to start off by saying welcome along. I'm sure there'll be quite a few people jumping on tonight. I know that we've had we are fighting against the Olympics tonight, which is obviously getting quite exciting. And we're also competing against the FA Cup draw, which has just happened, I think. So I just understand that we've drawn Chelsea in the next round. So go on the mighty Wrexham. Let's see how we get on against Chelsea. So that'll be good. So got a lot of topics to cover off tonight. And you probably notice I haven't got my... yeah, it is a little bit cold tonight, Christoph, and I've left my gilet inside along with the battery pack. I didn't charge it up again, so it's inside. So you notice I'm in the Andycharger blue, electric blue hoodies tonight. So, and that's because fresh off the press this morning, mine arrived this morning, and I know many of you out there that had ordered them. The International TT Show hoodies are here. Look, they have turned up. Really cool. They are absolutely great. They've come out really well. So I know that some of you that had ordered them, if they've been shipped and they've arrived today, I've had notifications of a few of you. So a few of the members in the channel, obviously, you get good evening, Richard. How you doing? Of course, if you are a channel member, and those of you that are, obviously, you have your name in green on here. So thank you as always for your support. Really, really grateful for help keeping bringing this great content to the masses. You obviously get a discount as a member on the merchandise. You get £5 off an item, which is always great. So I've ordered myself a blue one for Ypres. So I've got to match my glasses, but I've ordered the wife one as well. So let's have a look what hers is like. So she's gone for this colour. So she was meant to be cream. So she's gone for, it's like a very light cream. It's like a mushroomy colour. Really nice, actually. They're really good quality hoodies as well. And of course, they've got the important bit on the back, which is the International TT Show, which will be holding at Caddy Cars. Obviously, this year, you can probably see on there, it's being held on Saturday, the 11th of April, 2026. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a really, really great show. So, so if you are coming along to Caddy Cars and to the International TT Show, and you want an Andycharger hoodie or T-shirt to go with that, then drop me a message at the channel, and we can sort it out. I've seen some... There's going to be a real mix of colours there this year. Some of the ones I've seen delivered today, I've had some photos from people, so thank you very much for sending me pictures of your hoodies. So Vanessa, I've seen yours and your husband's hoodies have turned up. Andy Mortimer, I know you've sent your hoodies through, picture of yours as well today. So we've got a real mix of colours. So we'll look very cool, I think, walking around Belgium in our matching tops. So yeah, got a few things to cover off. As you probably see, the TT is in a bit more dismantled state than it was. What was that? Sorry. Hi, Andy. You could always double up your hoodies to keep warm. I could do, but even though after my weight loss that I've had on my Monjaro, I don't think I'm going to fit in the wife's extra small hoodie. Might be a bit of a challenge. But it's a good idea. I should have put some extra layers on tonight. But yeah, so tonight, obviously, we're going to be talking a lot of subjects, including where we're up to with the TT Mark 1 3.2 V6 behind me, because as you know, we are doing the alternator on that. Hit a few headaches along the way on the dismantling, and found a few things along the way as well. So going to cover those off tonight as well. But we've both, as we stand right now, we've got both the headlights off. The slam panel is off the car and literally just, well, it's not off and like disconnected, but it's all unbolted and moved off. So we've got a bit more room to work with, and we'll have a look in there shortly to what we're going to talk about. A lot of things that we are going to talk about tonight, and we are going to probably start off with talking about the car. Is it a future classic? I just want to get your thoughts of those of you on tonight. Do you think the car has now reached that absolute classic status, the classic status of a future classic? Now, are we now there? Looking at the prices, do you agree the prices are starting to go up? Are you agreeing that those cars that we have out there right now are starting to be, the prices are starting to be a little bit more unobtainable, let's say, for the masses, because the prices are starting to go up? And even I've noticed some of the 225s and the 180s that were mainly 10 a penny are now also starting to creep up a little bit the last few weeks. And people are starting to reach out in various forums, various chats, asking, does anyone know where you can find a particular car? People are looking for specific examples now, not just any old TT. People are looking for those exact models that they want to hold on to the future. Until now, I think people have been looking for a TT as a bit of a project, a bit of a fun car to have some fun with. It's cheap, it's accessible. Now, are people looking at these cars to keep hold of? There's already a lot of us out there that are doing that, I guess. You know, I could say the same there. I know, Richard, you're in the chat tonight, and you've got a lovely Quattro Sport that you've got hold of at last. Do we think there's more of us doing that now? Are people starting to secure these items for the future? Oh, there we go. Who have we got on there chatting now? Mark Stanley, evening, Andy, Mark, and Logan watching. Thanks, guys. We've officially sold our 3.2 factory white today to Steve Chesham. That's interesting, Mark, because I thought you sold it to Steve, and then Steve sold it back to you, and maybe that's a different white car. I know that there was a different white car, so yeah, mileage still seems to be the key driver for 225s. Mark, we do need to sort out that component for the headlight as well. So hopefully you've managed to find, if you've got one in stock for me, because obviously I will show you the state of the one I have. 1 second, I'm going to grab that. Here is the one that I have. Both bits of it. So as you can see, this is the headlight fixator, I guess you class this as, in the passenger wheel well. So this sits in your passenger wheel well. It's bolted. It's bolted to the wing of the car, or not the wing. It's bolted to the slam panel, and it has this little hole in it here. You can see. So the end of your headlight fits into that. So it supports the headlight in the wing side. Now, when I came to dismantle mine, it felt really loose on the one side, and I gave it a good shove, and I heard a crack. I thought, that's not great. And when I took it out, this had already been broken. It just sort of like come away. So I definitely need one of those. Hopefully, Mark, you've got one in stock for me. Let's know. All right, Mark, 225 white to Steve, and bought a different 225. There's a lot of white ones going on, isn't there? So yeah, me and Steve will have a good deal on a white TT. Yeah, you do. Always flying about. Mrs. Jugs, good evening. The hoodies look great. Thanks for sorting that out. Absolute pleasure. And just to show you, Vanessa, I also have mine on this evening. So there you go. So I've got mine in blue to go with my glasses, and so my wife's one's here as well. So we've got they definitely proven a popular item. There's a lot of people that have been messaging me. And guys, if you also do want one, I'll say that batch that went out. We had a batch went out on Wednesday night. I ordered them, and they've actually turned up today. So that's really quick turnaround by the guys that have supplied the hoodie. So if you too want a hoodie for Ypres, and of course, if you don't just want a hoodie for Ypres and you want the Andycharger one that's got the logo on the front and the big Andycharger logo on the back, we also have those. Again, members do get a £5 discount per item. So if you are interested in picking one of those up, it probably is more beneficial for you to join the channel, get the discount, and get your hoodie and merchandise that way. So if you're interested in doing that, drop me an email at andy_charger@hotmail.com at the channel, where you too can pick up your Andycharger hoodie for either Ypres or, of course, the general Andycharger hoodies. So there we go. So yeah, we're talking about tonight the Mark 1, and it's been a future classic, or currently is now qualifying as a classic. And are the prices for these cars, are they now starting to tip up? I guess having Mark on the conversation's a great person to have on there. You're going to put the I'm going to get from you. Thanks, Mark. Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for sorting it out for me. Let me know what the damage is on that, and I'll sort that out for you as well. So, guys, we're very lucky in the TT community, and this is probably a great opportunity to talk about it. We've got a lot of great breakers in the community in the UK. So if you need any parts for your car, we've got a really great breaker in the chat right now. So Mark Stanley 1, you can see him in the chat there right now. He's not a channel. He hasn't joined the channel yet as a member, so he's not green. He's just the white name in the channel. But if you can see that in the list, Mark is the person to drop a message to. he can normally get you almost anything. And he's the person, if you're looking for any new old stock items that may be available that even Audi don't have, Mark normally has the info on that. So definitely get in touch with Mark for all your Mark 1 TT breaker parts, because he's an absolute diamond. And Mark, as always, I would take my hat off. I haven't got my TT OEM parts hat on tonight, have I? So, but if I had that on, I'd tip my hat to you. Although I have got a little bit of a mark on my forehead there, which has got a long story. And if I have time at the end, I'll tell you all about how that happened at the weekend. Very embarrassing, but it's quite an interesting little story. But yeah, so we're talking about that car then. So do we think that car is now at classic status? Let me know what you think in the chat. It's always good to hear it. Christoph, Annie, do you have the details for the meet in Rochester this weekend? Going to bang it into ways. Yeah, so I can tell you all about that meet this weekend, Christoph. It is going to be at the Rochester Cineworld, so it's easy to find. So as you come off the M2 junction, well, I don't know what junction it is. I think it might be junction 2 or 3, but you come off for the Rochester turn off for the M2. You immediately come off and you peel off to the left. You go round the first roundabout and then down into like an industrial estate. Follow it round. You go past the McDonald's and then you follow it all the way around to the Cineworld. And the meet is normally at the back of the Cineworld. Now it's looking right now that the weather at the weekend should be okay for Saturday. I don't think I'm going to get this finished for then, but I will have the Roadster on the road, obviously. So I'll be taking the Roadster probably on Sunday. So you'll probably see me there in the Roadster. But I will come along. I'll come and say hi and catch up with all of you there and then as well. So yeah, hopefully see many of you. So I think it starts from 10. But if you want the details, go on to Facebook, onto the Kent and Southern TT Owners Group on Facebook, and you will find all the details of the meet on Saturday right there. So definitely come along if you can. But not only are we talking about the car being a classic for the future, but I thought we'd also talk about another one of my videos that we've covered recently, and that's common problems with the Audi TT Mark 1. And this is where I'm going to open the floor to you all to let me know what your problems are. Mr. GMT1, every week you are on this channel, and it's very, very early in the day for you. I know it is indeed. And you're always very kind in sending a super thanks donation to the channel. So thank you very much as being one of my long-standing supporters of the channel. Most appreciate everything you do for me as well. So thank you very much for your donation. But I'm going to ask there, maybe in Australia, there is a difference of what the problems are in the maybe because of the weather conditions and the climate. Maybe it's different problems. But what are the common problems and the ownership costs for the Audi TT Mark 1 owner right now? Let me know in the comments what you think they are. I'm going to chuck some ideas out there and see if you think these are problems, because you've got the pixelated dash. That seems to be a problem, and that's normally a guaranteed failure on any car that hasn't had it addressed, because the cars are 25 years old and they've been having pixelated dashes since the first couple of years after ownership. You start losing lines in that dash, in the middle of the dash. So that's obviously a problem. Obviously, coil packs, they are quite a cheap fix for cars, but they are one of those things that go wrong quite often. So coil packs are a common failure in these cars. And obviously, for a fix for that, it's normally better to have a whole set of coil packs, but at least have a spare one that you know is good in your glove box. Because if you start getting that running on 3 cylinders feeling of the car, or 5 cylinders if you've got a 3.2, it's always good to have a coil pack that you can stick into the car and get it going again. It's always good to plug into a diagnostic tool such as VCDS, or one of the many tools that are out there. You can buy a cheap diagnostic tool for a tenner that can do a lot of these programs. We've talked about them before. The Bluetooth scanner. I've done a guide on my channel if you want to check that out. It's all about the cheap Bluetooth OBD2 scanners for the car, so you can check codes, find what's going in, clear codes. But that would allow you to understand, if you plug it in, which one of your cylinders is causing a problem to run on 3 cylinders if you've got a problem with the car. And that would allow you to swap out the coil pack, put a new one in, bosh, off you go. So that's always a problem. The Haldex service, obviously we know in my video on the problems of the maintenance you must undertake, Haldex service is a key one to get done, because your 4-wheel drive car might soon turn into a 2-wheel drive car, because your 4-wheel drive may stop working if you don't service a Haldex. Now, the Haldex should have its oil service every 20,000 miles, and the hot oil and the filter every 40,000 miles. really keen. I'm really keen to get those items done, because if you don't get those items done, you could end up having quite a serious failure for your Audi TT Mark 1, and it won't work. Mr. GMT1 is asking, Mark, how can I get in touch with you, my man? Mark, do you want to just drop your address in the comments? Again, just put your. It'd be good to get you. If we could get images in the chat, wouldn't it? So if you go to OEM TT Parts, I think is the website address, Mr. GMT1. So Mark has Mark. I don't know if you're happy to share the company number in the chat as well, your mobile number. Sure you are. But definitely stick it in the chat so people can get in touch with you if you're still there, which would be good if you are. So again, we know the Haldex is a problem, but also a problem on these cars is rust. Now we know rust appears in particular places on this car and can cause a problem. Once you've got rust, really, there's not an awful lot you can do about it. You're gonna have to replace those panels normally. So areas that really are a problem on this car are the front wings are a problem on this car. They tend to rust just at the top of the arch, and that tends to be because the rust spreads around from the inner side of the arch around to the outside. Now, and that's normally because it's had some damage on the inner lip of the arch, because it just gets stone chips coming up, and that then spreads around. So you don't see it straight away because the very thin layer of the arch. I could go and get a wing. I might go and get a wing actually and give you a show in a minute of what I made. So around the inside edge of the arch, a stone will flick up, hit the wheel arch, chip it, then water and rust start building, and then it builds around the arch and starts showing on the outside of the arch. So the last time you can do anything about it, it's too late, because on the outside. That is a problem. And again, at the either end of the seals that run on the car, similar sort of problem. Stones are clipping up from the ground, hitting the arch, chipping the paint, and then the rust starts to spread around on the end of the seals, and you end up with rusty, snotty seals. And of course, also a big problem with the seals, sitting behind the end of the seal under the wheel arch liner, is you end up getting a lot of crud build up there, like dirt and horrible stuff, just sits like a sludge and builds up, and that can start rotting through there as well. So it's worth having your wheel arch liners off and hosing that through once every now and again, just to keep that dirt out of it. We've got there Andy Mortimer's on there. The hoodies, yeah, hoodies for the internet. They've turned up for you. Good. That's Vanessa's had hers. She's on as well. She just mentioned that hers have turned up today as well. I've had mine turn up today, so I've got mine on right now. I've got mine obviously in the channel blue, as you'd expect, so it goes in my hoodie, so I should be easily spottable in there. And the wife's got one as well, so I ordered the wife one. So hers is this one in cream. So she's got a lovely cream one to wear for when we're walking around. So you'll see her nice and bright as well. So guys, yeah, just talking about what other problems do you think there are with the Mark 1 TT? What are your problems, your ownership costs that you're thinking about? We're talking about, we said about instrument clusters, rust spots, the Haldex, coil packs, the pixelated dash. What else do you think people have a problem with? Mark said, so we now own German auto spares too. So now carry Mark 2 TT parts and other VAG, Mercedes and BMW parts. So there you go, guys. Mark is the person to get in touch if you want any parts for your car. I can't recommend Mark enough, by the way. So Mark, you might remember this, but you got me out of a real hole a few years ago when I had the blue 3.2. I was in Germany, or on my way to Germany at the time, and I had a phone call from the garage, and they said, your 3.2's failed its MOT. And I was like, right, well, I'm going to be in Germany for the next 5 days. That's not helpful. And you were able to ship me a 3.2 subframe because they weren't available new anymore. And you got me out of a hole because you shipped me a 3.2 subframe. We had it installed and it got shipped to my mum's house, of all things, because obviously I was away in Germany at the time. And she took it to the garage for me and they fitted it. So when I got back, the 3.2 was all good. So there you go. Great example of how Mark can get you out of trouble. Yeah, PCV boost leaks. Yeah, now I've seen a few videos this week online of people showing evidence of how they have checked for boost leaks with doing a smoke test. And that seems to be quite a common one, of people are putting smoke in from the air filter end of the car and through the system, and it starts to leak out. So you can see where the boost leaks could potentially be. That's definitely one that you need to keep a track on. I think that's to Mark. Do you have a WhatsApp? Mark has got a phone number. I'm sure he'll put it in the chat if he's happy to do so. Stuart Heather says, notice that rust seems bad on some rear doors. Some rear doors around the number plate lights. Also the heated seats failing. Yeah, so we said rear door. I thought what four door, but you know, I mean the boot, don't you? Yeah, the boot lid. Yeah, that seems to be a problem where it goes. Also, I've noticed that you find that the seals on the boot spoiler, they tend to fail and let water in there as well. And then you start getting rust along the boot ledge, the boot spoiler ledge area. You can start seeing little snotty bits there. I've got that on the 25 road, so actually start to get that. But you also get it around the lights. You start getting water coming through there, make the lights fail as well. Also, this heated seats fail. Yeah, I've not heard of heated seats failing as a common one, but that's an interesting one to chuck in the chat, Stuart. I think that's a great shout if you've had that as well. Anybody else, can you put in the chat below if you are experiencing any problems with your Audi TT Mark 1 that you feel may be common issues? We can share with great people that are watching tonight. It's always good to share these items with people. I've actually got a few cheat notes tonight, if I'm perfectly honest, because I had a lot of things to cover. And what I tend to do is I tend to do these broadcasts and I get off air at the end of it. I go, I forgot to mention this. And so I've just jotted a few things to talk about tonight down. So, yeah, on top of the repairs and stuff, and this is a little bit personal now, guys, but I do want to ask you this and be honest. You know, no one's judging tonight, and no one's judging what people have paid. But what do you feel? What is your biggest ever repair bill on the Audi TT Mark 1? Now, Andy Morton, if you're on there, you might not want to answer this because I know you tend to spend quite a bit on your different things done. So, but I'd be interested to know what people's stories are of the big jobs they've done. Now, the big jobs that I'm thinking about on the 3.2 that could be ahead for me, at some point, I could need the chains doing. That's an expensive job. Clutches are a notoriously expensive job on any of the TTs, the 1.8T or the 3.2. But guys, please put in the chat right now, what do you feel is your most expensive job you've undertaken on the TT? Let me know and see what we come up with. Be interested to see what people say. I'm going to quickly touch on going to Ypres as well, because we've talked about that. A few people have reached out to me this week that are still looking to go. If you do want to go to Ypres, there's plenty of convoys that are leaving between the Wednesday and the Saturday show itself. And so you could come over on the Saturday itself on the 11th if you wanted to. But a lot of us are going over on the 8th of April. We're catching the 10:20 across on the Eurotunnel. We're staying in Ghent on the first night and then Ypres for the rest of it. I know the Ariane is now fully booked, so if you are looking to stay with us at the Ariane, you might be able to look. But there are plenty of other Airbnbs around the area where you can stay. On the Friday evening, obviously, we are going at 7:30 for dinner at the Trumpet, which is a fantastic restaurant. We've eaten there both the previous years. We've booked it out both Friday nights of the previous years, smashed it out completely. There isn't a spare seat to be had in the house. Lovely food, great company, great